Well, this is it. We'll call you when we're ready.
Hi.
Is he always like this?
We'll be all right if we stick together.
Oh, come in. You're up to no good.
My name's Frank Williams. I'm the section manager and the new screen-based equipment liaison officer.
Yes, I've heard about you. You're progressive and go ahead.
Ah, thank you.
They are not my favourite virtues.
Ah, this is Miss Sally DeCellis.
DeCellis. I'm his shop steward.
Yes, I know. I voted for you.
Oh.
Well, it's good to put a face to a name. Well, what do you want?
Ah, we've brought you a terminal and keyboard. You can finally plug into the computer.
Yeah.
Mr. Bliggins, you're the last eligible person on the list. Once you're plugged in, the upgrading program is finished.
The wretched things, they got you all in.
It'll bring you into the 20th century.
I don't need a machine to bring me into the 20th century. I was born here.
Now, Mr. Bliggins, I think we should take this calmly.
It'll pass. It's just a fashion.
If it's brought in properly, new technology can be very useful.
Blotter, ink, pen, and the joy of a well-formed copper plate.
We all admire your handwriting, Mr. Bliggins.
Ah.
But it's your efficiency we question.
I do my job.
What exactly is your job, Mr. Bliggins?
Well, it's difficult.
There hasn't been a single piece of paper come out of this office in the past 2 weeks.
Have you been checking on the productivity of our members? There's been trouble about this before.
Look, this is very difficult. This man is a living legend. Everybody else leaves him alone.
You'll be checking keystroke rates next.
Oh, come on, we have an agreement about that which has been scrupulously observed.
True. Then how did you come to check on our member here?
It's all above board. The messengers bet on his mail. The record is 87 consecutive working days without even a note from the social club.
Yes, well, I have a great many letters to write. Now, as much as it warms my heart to know that you care about the forgotten corners of our department, may I ask you to allow me to get on with my humble task?
Where is your in tray?
I'm here to support you, but you should realize that no one else is taking your position.
But I don't want anybody else's position.
No, that's not
You see,
right.
what happens? You get involved with these things, they suck you in. You get involved, you get caught up.
When was the last time you touched this?
I've been doing a great deal of backfiling.
Filing is much easier electronically. Simply plug in, switch on. No cabinets, no folders. No more mice eating the accounts.
Look, the union is cooperating with management on this issue because we have a stringent agreement for your protection.
Oh, I see. A double act. A combined onslaught.
No, but you're putting me in a difficult position.
You, madam, are putting me in a difficult position. You should not be foisting on one of your members a health hazard.
You're being melodramatic. This is office equipment.
The most insidious health hazard of our time.
You're determined not to listen.
Would you give me dangerous equipment?
No.
No.
Ha ha. Then I've got you.
What's he up to?
I'm afraid to think.
I've kept this little entertainment because I knew you'd be around. Fibbing to an old man for reasons of organisational conformity.
Now, that's a very sophisticated piece of equipment.
Oh, I've nothing against high technology. I despise its unthinking acceptance, that's all. No.
Oh, no, I've seen this one. This is one of the worst safety films ever made.
Is it accurate?
In a way. Watch and see.
Did you know that your office could be a health hazard? Your secretary could be more at risk than the workers in the dirtiest and most dangerous parts of industry. This woman is in danger right now. But how, you may ask? What could be safer than the modern office? Let's look more closely at the scene. It's early morning and all is well, but even now we see the telltale clues of developing trouble. Look at her hunched shoulders, her back completely unsupported, her seat digging into her legs, restricting circulation, and the subtly uncomfortable angle of her hands above the keyboard. Her eyes are strained already as they peer into the screen, past the annoying reflections at these dim letters squeezed together. Any minute now, the printer next door will start, adding a noise which is irritating and causes stress.
What? Sorry, I can't hear you. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Now let's see what effect this environment has on her during the day. She is obviously very uncomfortable. By the end of the day, she's a wreck and well on her way to these industrial injuries. A stiff and sore neck, lower backache, headaches, a general feeling of stress and tension. She feels worn out by her day's work. And remember that screen she found so hard on her eyes? It is also causing more problems than she thinks, affecting the muscles around her eyes, causing eye fatigue, and perhaps even accelerating short-sightedness and developing cataracts. But we've kept the most serious problem to last: repetitive strain injury. The speed at which her hands are working can be a hazard too. The tendons inside the hands, arms, shoulders and back work like pistons inside a cylinder. Instead of oil, they use a lubricant called synovial fluid. Through overuse, the tendon can seize up like an unoiled engine. This problem is much more serious if the working position is uncomfortable. It's usually brought about by speed in association with the muscle fatigue caused by bad posture. This can cause enormous pain and hardship for the victims. The answer to these scourges is a new...
There you are. It's on television, so it must be true. Do I make my point?
For a start, repetition injury is not necessarily the most serious hazard.
How can you say that? Many victims may never work again.
There are eye problems which are just as dangerous.
You don't want to face the issue.
I thought you two were working together.
We are, within limits.
You're exaggerating. That kind of scare tactic gets us nowhere.
Did you know that your office could be a health hazard?
But you do have a problem.
Yes, that's true, but it's under control.
Our union and management have agreed to cooperate.
Yes, I know, but it's still a problem. And I can prove it. See, I don't just lurk around here, you know, drinking cocoa all day. Filed under O for observation.
Oh, for obsession.
Yeah, it took me a while to get the hang of this filming business. You see, you've got to admit the equipment is a potential health hazard.
Yes, that's true, but we're not denying it.
Let's start a base administration.
We're upgrading that.
Oh, listen to this.
It takes a lot out of you, especially on your eyes. Well, I have problems with my back. You can be lucky or you can be unlucky, but it's awful if it does happen.
I've never experienced them, and I tend to think that they're probably overrated.
You're looking at girls of all shapes and sizes and things like that, so you know, as far as chairs and tables go.
And exercise breaks really help. They're terrific.
It's a hot summer night in the blackboard jungle. Crime seems so heavy on the city's shoulder. Can't get to work, I can get a job. I just sit and play my radio in the parking lot.
Well, we're supposed to work 50 minutes and 10 minutes off every hour. And do exercises in a 10 minutes break. But we don't do that all the time.
You should be able to judge for yourself. You're getting a bit tired, you know. Get up, take a short walk.
I probably had the same feeling that, given that it's on my desk and I'm using it on a day-to-day basis, it would be safe to use.
Maybe once I fall pregnant or something like that, I probably don't want to sit on this machine.
I'm lucky because my place is good, but I have gone there to the other section and the light really bothered my eyes.
That's certainly general knowledge that either bad posture, bad equipment, bad workload can cause you damage.
Like before, I didn't get a good chairs. I always had that problems.
People are less willing these days to accept that as a hazard. They want something done about it.
Well, I think there's a wrap, as we say in the business. Would you like a cup of cocoa before you go?
The SEC has spent a fortune on upgrading equipment, reorganising workspaces and establishing rest breaks.
Because our members have insisted.
I do admit that the union contributed to our sense of urgency.
Contributed? It wouldn't have happened without us.
We cooperate because we are all genuinely determined to secure a safe and comfortable work environment.
But the problem remains.
It's a huge organisation. Change takes time.
It's a huge problem. There's no solution.
We've come a long way.
How much further can you go?
There is a solution to these problems, and it's on the other tape, remember?
No.
What's on the other tape?
Nothing. Don't touch that.
Why?
It's a very badly made tape, isn't it right, Frank?
Ergonomics to the rescue.
Even the title's trite.
The science of ergonomics is based on the idea that the machine should fit the worker instead of the worker fitting the machine. Posture may seem to be the obsession of a bygone era, but decades of research has confirmed the discomfort of working at a desk can be avoided by correct body position. If you sit and work in the correct position, the risk of back pains, shoulder and neck problems, even repetition injury can be reduced.
This is the most satisfactory position for a keyboard operator. Let's see how it works out in practice.
These two positions are obviously quite different. To move the operator into the right position, we must use adjustable equipment, which replaces the traditional furniture. All this equipment must, of course, be adjusted to fit the individual person. That's the whole point of it. Eyesight problems are prevented with a high-quality screen adjusted for comfort and clarity. Ergonomics is also concerned with lighting. The light sources should be adjusted to prevent reflections on the screen, and natural lighting may have to be excluded to get the levels right and prevent glare. Noise levels may have to be reduced. Printers in particular will require acoustic shields. If you are pregnant, you should avoid working with a screen. It is possible that radiation could damage the unborn child. There's another factor involved, particularly with repetition injury and eye strain, and that's time. How long you work between breaks and how long you spend at a screen in one day, both are very important.
Breaks from repetitive work are very important. Wherever possible, we are altering jobs so they involve several different tasks. And keyboard operators do not spend more than half their working day on the machines. High time users should take a rest break of 10 minutes every hour, whilst less intensive users should take 15 minutes every 2 hours.
You're serious about these changes?
Yes, we're a long way down the road.
We're in the process.
All this new equipment, lights, the keyboard, the rest breaks.
Yes.
This joint venture with the union.
Yes.
This temporary resolution of an ancient antagonism. How do I know you'll maintain this determination? That you won't cut back in the interest of economy or departmental stability?
We've got the code.
The code of practice for the selection, installation and use of screen-based equipment.
Code. Oh, it's back to the trenches. Oh, you nearly had me there. You see, I know about the code. It's not the cure-all you may imagine.
It was published on the notice board, if I remember. The first we heard about it was the MTU came around and assessed the terminals.
I know there is a code, but I don't know anything about it.
I'm not aware of the other education that goes with it.
Not a great deal, I could do most of it.
You're more aware of how to set at your machine or
Anything that helps the girls and improves their working conditions, they're all for it.
The individuals themselves don't have to actually do anything except sit in the workplace once it's been developed for them.
I don't remember anyone coming down and asking us what we wanted.
Well, it seems the multitudes are not impressed by your commandments.
We'd already gathered that.
We're well aware of it. A lot of people do feel as though the code has been imposed on them.
What do you expect? The SEC has 20,000 employees and 1,200 terminals. The code is a single set of common standards which must apply to a wide range of situations. Now, of course, there were limits to the consultative process. Can you think of a better approach?
It does provide minimum working standards. It was prepared in consultation with the unions.
And with other organisations and experts.
So we think it's a usable working document.
You can't deny the code's provisions.
Well, it's not easy to read.
It does provide a safe working environment.
Oh, it's safe enough on paper.
Will you accept a terminal?
What happens if something goes wrong in this ergonomic fairyland of yours? I mean, I'll need guarantees.
You've got guarantees.
That's what the code is for. It's basically a guarantee.
And if the equipment fails to meet this criteria, then you can come to me in my formal capacity as screen-based liaison officer.
And you should also take the issue to me. Stop work on the terminals and the unions will back you. The code helps us to identify problems.
And solve disputes.
Yes.
All right, you're on.
Quick! Before he changes his mind!
Adjust it first.
Do you know what to do?
I'll try.
I want to see you start. This is an historic occasion.
On one condition.
We've done all we can.
I've been reasonable with you. I've explained everything very carefully. I've watched your dreadful tapes and your horrible films, and I think that I've been pushed too far.
What do you want?
Disk drive?
You haven't got any reason for a disk drive. You're plugged into the main frame.
No disk drive, no work.
Have we got a disk drive?
I saw one in the box.
Give the old horror his disk drive. Where did you get those?
I've been doing a lot of work at home. Well, I needed a computer and you weren't going to give me one.
You've got a computer at home?
Yes.
He's got a computer at home.
Yes, of course. I've had one for years.
You're not against computers at all.
Not at all.
Then why in all conscience did you put us through all this trouble when you wanted the damn thing all the time?
I wanted a guarantee. After all, I'm not going to work in an unsafe environment. I'm entitled to know my work environment is safe. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do, and you're standing in the light.
You like computers?
I love computers. They're a fantastic working tool.
What are you doing here?
I'm a historian. I'm the official historian for the SEC.
I think we'll leave him to it.
I didn't know we had an historian. Did you?
The SEC has lots of specialists. Hey, listen, Miss Detulus.
Did Shelley?